It's Michelle of Muffin Beauty Science here, chemistry PhD, cosmetic chemist, and big fan of Asian skincare. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite Heimish products. Heimish is a Korean brand that's best known for their cleansing balm. It has a cult following and obviously I'll be talking about that, but they have a lot of other really interesting products too. This video is sponsored by StyleKorean, an online Korean beauty store that stocks Heimish along with tons of other brands. Like and subscribe and click the notification bell so you know when new videos go up. I'm going to start with the Heimish All Clean Balm. This is Heimish's most popular product, and lots of people have this as their all-time favorite cleansing balm, and for good reason. I've been using this for years. I don't think I've ever reviewed it though, and I should really do a video on my favorite cleansing balms, but this one is very high up there. In case you didn't already know, cleansing balms are great for quickly getting makeup and waterproof sunscreen off your face really fast. I talked about this before in my cleansing mist video, but you don't actually need to use an oil-based cleanser to remove makeup and sunscreen. A lot of the time regular cleansers will work fine, and you can even remove them with microfiber cloths and plain water. But a lot of people, including me, really like using oil-based cleansers for that because it feels really effortless and the oil massage is really relaxing. So how you use these, you scoop out a small amount of the cleansing balm, then you massage it over your dry, dirty face at the start of your cleansing routine. The solid balm will melt on your skin as you rub and it turns into an oil, then you rinse it off with warm water. I personally rub the balm on before I get into the shower and then I rinse it off in the shower, and you'll see the water go milky as it emulsifies and the oil droplets go into the water. You can follow up with a regular cleanser like a foaming cleanser, which I do if I'm wearing makeup, or if you think your skin is clean enough, you can just leave it, which is what I do if I didn't leave the house and I didn't wear sunscreen or makeup that day. This balm is a really good cleansing balm that works really well to get rid of waterproof makeup, including mascara, and it rinses off really cleanly. Some cleansing balms will leave a bit of oil on your face, and depending on the product, you can either leave this on your face or you might prefer to get it off with a follow-up cleanser. I've personally found that it really depends on which balm I'm using, whether or not I break out with that extra oil, but with this one you don't have a layer left behind, so you don't need to worry about it. This is just one of the more affordable cleansing balms that works really well. It's slightly scented, it has this flip top lid that makes it really easy to get into. It has a little spot for storing your spatula if you're a neat person who's not into digging out the product with your fingers or just like smashing the spatula in there for storage. This product does have polyethylene in it. I'll talk more about it in a future video because it's a bit of a complicated topic, but very briefly, this has a form of polyethylene in it, but there are lots of different types of polyethylene. And the type in cleansing balms is probably somewhat biodegradable. It's a less solid form than microbeads, so the environmental impacts are quite different. The amount in it is also really small compared to the other microplastics you generally produce in the rest of your life. So while I'd like it if brands replaced it with more degradable ingredients, it isn't really a big deal breaker for me. I tried a bunch of Heimish's cleansers and these two are my favorites. This is the pH 5.5 All Clean Green Foam. I really like that this has a low skin-friendly pH of 5.5 because a lot of Asian cleansers tend to have really high pHs. High pH will disrupt your skin a bit more than a lower pH that matches your skin's pH. This foams nicely, it cleanses nicely, and it doesn't leave my skin feeling tight afterwards. It is fragrance free and it smells a bit plasticky. As I've mentioned before, I do prefer a mild fragrance in my cleansers to not have that smell. This is just very functional. I think it's a great option. I personally find it a bit boring, but for a lot of people, no frills is exactly what you want in a cleanser. And if that's you, I highly recommend this. There's also the All Clean White Clay Foam. I actually like this a bit more than the other one. This is a foaming cleanser that has two types of clay in it, which is bentonite and kaolin. So it soaks up oil as you clean. It's sort of like a way of getting the benefits of a clay mask while you're cleansing. So I love lazy products. This does have a high pH, it's around 8 or 9, but this is probably the nicest feeling high pH cleanser I've ever tried. It's soap-based, but the soap's being mixed with other non-soap surfactants, which should reduce the soap disrupting your skin. This also has glycerin in it, which stops your skin from getting too dehydrated while cleansing. I've talked about how formulations can make surfactants work gentler in my cleanser mist video as well. I didn't find this drying or tight, but I did try it during an Australian summer, which is pretty humid and I have oily skin. I did try a couple of other high pH soap-based cleansers over the last few months and they haven't worked as well as this, so I do think this is actually gentler. And I was actually quite surprised it didn't feel tight, even though there is that clay in it. This also has hydrolyzed silk and hyaluronic acid, which would help keep your skin hydrated as well. It has a light scent which comes from essential oils. And so I'd recommend this for people with oily skin. Maybe go for the other one if you have dry skin or you're sensitive to fragrance. Moving on to moisturizers, Heimish have a whole bunch of really nice moisturizers, and these are my favorites. One thing I love about Asian skincare is that there are a lot of gel moisturizers available that are really good for oily, dehydration prone skin and just hot weather in general. Standard moisturizers are usually creams or lotions that are oil in water emulsions, and these use traditional emulsifiers to keep oil droplets suspended in the product. These traditional emulsifiers can sometimes feel pretty heavy. With a gel cream, the oil droplets get suspended using a network of special polymers, and this ends up feeling a lot lighter on your skin. Gel creams are a lot more popular in Asia. There aren't a ton of gel cream options available at a lower price point in Australia. So I was really excited to try the Watermelon Moisture Soothing Gel Cream. This is fantastic. It used to be called the Moisture Surge Gel Cream, and it's very similar to the Clinique version. This has a very lightweight texture, but it's really hydrating. There's lots of glycerin in it, and it leaves behind a satiny, hydrated looking finish on my skin. It doesn't pill. I'm actually wearing it now under my makeup. It's fragrance free, and the smell is not very offensive for a fragrance free product. I also really like the All Clean Vitamin Blemish Spot Clear Cream. This is a slightly heavier cream. It's more moisturizing, but again, it's really hydrating with lots of glycerin. It feels really cooling when you put it on your skin, and I think I could still probably use it as a heavier day cream. This has a light scent, and it has 5% niacinamide and vitamin C, which comes from kakadu plum extract. It's actually approved as a functional cosmetic in Korea for brightening and anti-wrinkle claims, and I believe that's because it contains 2 to 5% niacinamide and 0.04% adenosine. But it does also have clinical testing on the box, which you can see on this graph, and that shows that it has a modest decrease in pigment, and you can also see some before and afters on the Heimish website. The box also shows the irritation testing, and I think this is just a really nice moisturizer. I love that you can get a high percentage of niacinamide in one product, which means you can sort of spend your serums on other ingredients. Moving on to the Marine Care Cream Toner. This is a newer sort of product for me. It's a toner that has a lot of oil in it, but it's very watery, as you can see, but it moisturizes a lot more like a lotion. This product is very similar to the Laneige Cream Skim, which I also love. They both have very similar top-line moisturizing ingredients, which are butylene glycol and glycerin as humectants, as well as meadow foam seed oil as the oil component. It's also approved as a functional cosmetic for brightening and anti-wrinkle in Korea, which I'm guessing means that the niacinamide in this is between 2 and 5%, and the adenosine is at 0.04%. It also has marine extracts in it, and according to the packaging, it's in liposomal form, which means they're bundled up in little packets, which supposedly should deliver better into your skin. This also has a very mild scent, whereas the Laneige is fragrance-free. But on my skin, the moisturizing effect is pretty much the same for both. So I guess your choice would depend on whether you want more actives and how you feel about fragrance. I also tried the Marine Care Eye Cream. I usually don't use eye creams because I wear contact lenses at night, and if any product gets into my eyes, it is a massive pain. I have to go through the whole contact lens removal and reinsertion process, but I gave this one a go because it has a thicker texture, and so I figured it probably wouldn't travel as much. And I was right, this does hydrate my under eye area pretty nicely without traveling into my eyes. This also has that niacinamide and adenosine combo that makes it a functional cosmetic. It also has marine extracts and peptides. Again, it has that liposomal technology which should deliver that deeper into your skin. This does have a moderate scent, but because you don't use very much product, it's not super noticeable. It comes with a metal depuffing massage stick, and this is quite soothing. I found myself using it during the day when I was in front of the computer and my eyes were getting a bit tired. I prefer applying this cream by pressing it in with my fingers because the texture is a bit thick and so it's a bit difficult to spread with the stick, but massaging it in with the cool stick afterwards is really nice. I don't think you necessarily need a separate eye cream unless you have the same problem as me where your face likes products that slide around, but your eyes don't. And I guess I'm just not really an eye cream connoisseur because I haven't tried that many, but I did find myself really enjoying this. I found myself reaching for it a lot more than I expected. My final pick from the Heimish range of the products I tried is the Black Tea Mask Pack. This has a really puree, fluffy, sorbet sort of texture. It is moderately strongly scented and it's quite a floral scent. To use it, you apply it for 5 to 10 minutes and then you wash it off. I wiped it off with a damp cloth or cotton pad, and I've heard that some people leave this on overnight. I wasn't expecting a lot from this product because you are only meant to use it for 5 to 10 minutes, but I was really impressed by how hydrating it was in such a short amount of time. The effect this had was kind of like a sheet mask without being a sheet mask. I think I've mentioned before how I don't really like sheet masks because they're kind of fussy to me. I know a lot of people like to relax with a sheet mask on, but I find that I don't really relax, which I know sounds kind of bad, but I like to do things while I relax. Like I like to read or crochet, and I don't like the distraction of the feeling of the sheet mask sliding down. A layer of this feels just like moisturizer, and I found that this gave me a lot of those hydrating, skin smoothing effects that sheet masks tend to give. I haven't used a lot of masks recently because they are just, to me, a lot of effort, but this is like a really low effort mask that still delivers a lot of benefits. So those are my favorite Heimish products so far. All the links to buy are in the description and they're currently on sale at StyleKorean. Let me know if you've tried any of these products before and what you thought of them. I've also got some more reviews of Asian skincare products in the description. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok, check out my blog, and see you next time for more nerdy beauty talk.